morning, Neil Sean here in the heart of London. Just a quick roundup on this particular segment. Can we all give a quick shout out and a get well soon to the one and only, an international megastar himself, King of Las Vegas in my mind, none other than Barry Manilow. Now Barry sadly is suffering from COVID. Yes, it's finally got him. What I love about Barry, you know, is this. He's an international showman. He truly is somebody that adds glitz and glamour to every production, every album that he makes. I've been lucky enough to work with Barry, known him, met him numbers of times, and he's just a true professional. Must tell you a thing, by the way. When I was working with him at a theatre, and you know, we'd done this interview inside the theatre and it'd gone really well, and he was, as ever, just great fun, you know. There were lots and lots of fans gathering outside the theatre. And I said to him, oh, you know, there's a lot out there. You know, he said, oh, yes, they are. And anyway, we go out to the side of the stage door and we walk. And as we walk out, it becomes really silent, you know. And I kind of thought, well, what's going on here? You know, they simply parted out the way. There was no screaming, touching, nagging for autographs, anything like that. Even though Barry, you know, I must tell you this at the end, stopped at the end of the line, did masses of autographs for people and pictures and stuff like that. But what truly this was, and I found this fascinating in fact, was that they told me afterwards, well, you know, we like to show a mark of respect. We're not sort of screaming hordes of women who, you know, just want to touch and paw him and stuff like that. So they just part out the way if he wants to go to the car or he's busy and all that sort of stuff. Or, you know, if he wants to talk and do pictures, then they'll do it. How wonderful to have fans like that. Barry sadly had to pull out of his forthcoming Broadway production of Harmony, the musical, and it premiered way back in 1997, but it's finally made it to New York. It is a brilliant musical. I'm surprised that nobody's picked it up over here in the United Kingdom. Of course, Barry's first big musical was none other than Copacabana. I have a special affection to that particular musical myself, and its brilliant star, Mr. Gary Wilmot, another genius performer. If you haven't seen him or you don't know him, look him up. What a talent this man is. But Barry brought his spectacular production, where music and fashion is always the passion at the Copa, way back in the early 90s. And I was lucky enough to meet Barry because he was having that particular track remixed at a record label that I was working for at the time. So again, you know, it's funny how your paths cross. As I say, Barry is a little bit under the weather right now, so I just wanted to use this particular opportunity to say from everybody here on the channel, get well soon, Barry. Another quick mention also I'd like to point out is a lady that I think is stunningly beautiful in the flesh. She is beautiful on film, but in fact more beautiful in the flesh. Michelle Pfeiffer, of course, the original Catwoman, and of course in the fabulous Baker Boys. She's taken on a brilliant part right now, I have to tell you, that of First Lady Betty Ford. And we were speaking recently, as ever, via Zoom. That's the world we live in, yeah. And the bottom line is, she said it was a real difficult role because, of course, people's perception of the First Lady are completely different, and naturally they are. But Michelle has done a sterling job portraying her. And again, you know, it just shows this sort of versatility of what a brilliant actress she is. When you think about it, Michelle way back in the 80s and 90s was dubbed this international sex symbol. And it wasn't a role that she felt very comfortable with because she wanted to be known simply for her acting, and rightly so. But of course, when you are a stunningly beautiful woman, you have to expect that, at least at certain points. And finally, in a quick royal roundup, we have to tell you that it looks like none other than this little fella is finding out exactly what this person is to the world. That's right, the one and only Prince George, who I thought was brilliant at that football match when he led his delight show to his mum and dad in the stalls. I thought that was a great bit of footage, by the way. I've been told now that apparently Prince George has kind of worked out that his grandmother could be famous. I know this is strange to think because he's gone to all of those events, but William and Catherine have done an incredible job shielding him from the world, as it were, you know. And he's now apparently just realising how famous Gangan, as he called it when he was a baby, is. Isn't it nice to know that at some point you wake up and think, hang on a minute, I think my grandma's world famous. How surreal must that be, knowing that this is going to be you also one day? I am told they have not told him that particular news yet. They're bringing things in stages. That is your Royal and Showbiz roundup for this particular segment. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.